Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Doc.
One Doc.
It's your girl, BD.
It's Foreign's the fiance.
And we are back.
Back.
Back again. How are you?
Tired. I'm stifling a yawn. Oh, I'm just going to let it out.
Just let it out, babe. Just let it all hang out.
Yeah, that's how I am. There's never enough sleep. You can't get enough sleep, man.
Yeah, impossible. I went to bed early yesterday and I'm still tired. But it is what it is. We go again. We move. We try again tomorrow.
Let's hope.
I'm drinking today because I am. What am I drinking today? Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah. We didn't drink the other one, did we?
Yeah, I had one left. So it's the Edinburgh Gin, rhubarb and ginger, gin de Kiel. I feel like it's with something else. Oh, with ginger ale. I was going to say, I'm not just backing plain gin. That would be ridiculous. It's in a can, so I'm going to pour it into my cup. But yeah, that's what I'm drinking today. It's remarkable. It's a beautiful drink. It tastes delightful. And
something in my spirit is telling me to ask you if you've drank water today.
Oh, I have drank water today. Work was so busy though, so it was really frustrating because I didn't have time to go to the toilet, but I was drinking water, so it was just a really horrible time for my bladder. Okay. But I've since relieved myself and I'm fine now.
Good.
But yeah, I did drink water today. I did. Yeah, so we should probably get into the episode.
We should. This is a case I've heard so many... Oh.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, this is a case I've heard so many times. Not to say like I'm over it or something, but I've just heard, I know exactly what happens. At a point I stopped making notes because like I know what happens.
I mean, I've watched this documentary before. And yeah, we'll get into the case. So as we said, it's spooky season, and this is the third episode of Unsolved Mysteries that we are doing. The last one will be next week, and then we'll be back on track to our normal, regularly scheduled programming. So
I hope you guys have been sleeping with your asses out. So the boogeyman can eat your ass at night.
8.
Listen.
He clocked off soon.
Literally, listen.
Well, the ass is out. So this story is called this episode, is called No Ride Home. And it's a story about a guy called Alonzo Brooks. He's the youngest of 5.
And I always wonder
he's a very good looking man. He's tall.
He plays
man.
American football, so I can imagine he was like big built.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He is fine. He loves his mum.
He loves his mum, Lissy, his siblings, baby. Yeah, the earth was robbed of him, really. Yeah. Spoiler alert. But yeah, his name is Alonzo Brooks. He's the youngest of 5. And I always wonder what it'd be like to have like hella siblings. Like I don't have many. So I always wonder what it'd be like to be like one of like 5, 6, 7.
I don't want to
I reckon I'd like it. You could just go under the radar. No one would bother you too much.
I mean, I guess. But you'd also get 0 attention.
And that's where we lose you. Yeah, that's definitely where we lose you. Mm-hmm.
You lose me now and I'm the eldest of 3.
Yeah, but you're the eldest, so that is a standing. Do you know what I mean? So that is a thing.
It's a standing, but I still feel like I could do with more attention.
So you should just be the only child then?
Yeah, but when
you were for a long time.
Yeah, it was for 7 years and I didn't like it. I always wanted a sibling. And then after my sister was born, like, I never processed that literally, guys, I never processed that being a sibling meant, like, you'd share your parents. I just thought I'd have someone to always play with. So
you wanted a friend?
Huh?
So you wanted a friend?
Yeah, I wanted a friend. So I remember a friend that lived at home. Right. I should have just asked for more sleepovers. But no, I had to ask for a sibling. So I remember when my sister was born, like, you know how people come round to see the baby and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of uncles and stuff that when they'd come, they'd carry me up and, like, whatever. Like, they'd just come I'd run to the door to open the door and they'd just, like, literally completely ignore me and go straight to the baby. And I was
because the baby is new and you're old news. You're 7.
I was like, I fucking hate this bitch. And then, like, to just add insult to injury, like, my sister was born, like, prem. So she was always sick and in hospital. So there was just so much fuss over her. And then, like, I remember this one time it was really hot and my mum bought like Magnums, and obviously like Magnums are life, and so like
the ice cream, not the alcoholic beverage.
Yeah. So then I had gone to school and I've been thinking about having a Magnum all day, like since I was at school. I was just thinking about it, and then my sister had gone to hospital the night before, So, like, my mum came home from the hospital. I came back from school. My mum then came home from hospital. I went, I opened the door and I was like, oh, mummy, please can I have a Magnum? Please can I have a Magnum? And she was like, you stupid girl. Your sister's been in hospital since. You didn't even ask, how is she? Is she okay? You will not eat that. See that Magnum? She said it in English. She was like, you won't eat it. This Magnum will finish and you won't eat it. And truth be told, I didn't eat another Magnum from that packet.
Yeah, but why didn't you ask how your sister was?
Because all I cared about was Magnum. I didn't like that bitch. I thought I led with that at the beginning.
God.
I wanted her. The novelty wore off. Then I didn't like her.
Then you said, fuck that bitch.
I said, fuck that bitch.
Speaking
Now
of your
she's, like,
family...
my soulmate. But it was a tough...
It was a tough time. It was a journey.
Yeah.
Speaking of your family, yeah, I messaged your father to say happy birthday when it was his birthday. Do you know when he replied to me? A month later.
Okay. He said
He's
this
moving like
to
a
me.
light skin, like, listen.
The light-skinned nigga he is. He said to me yesterday at dinner, he was like, oh, do you know that Ebie sent me a birthday message? I was like, yeah, she told me. And she also told me that you didn't respond. He was like, that's not true. I responded. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I was going to say to you that, he told me he responded because, like, he said it. And here's me thinking, like, he responded a day or two later, not knowing it was, like, probably, like, 2 days ago he responded.
It was a month. It was nearly a month to the day.
I don't know who he thinks he is.
I said, do you know what, yeah? Uncle, like, obviously you're my guy, innit? But, like, hold on a minute. Am I a dickhead? Wait, do you not rate me? I said, He said, you know, I'm not good with my phone. I'm not good with WhatsApp. I said, oh, okay.
Oh, wait, did you have this whole exchange?
Yeah.
I need screenshots.
He said, I wasn't listening to you. Literally, he said, he literally was like, oh, he replied and was like, oh, thank you for your message. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not good with my phone. I said, okay, uncle.
My nigga, you a whole month older now from when the message was sent.
I said, it's expired now, you know? The birthday is no longer happy.
Was it on WhatsApp you sent him the message?
Yeah, of course it was on WhatsApp.
Oh, my dad is really bad with WhatsApp.
I don't know. I said, I'm actually chilling in the archives. Like, I'm defo chilling in the archives.
No,
chilling in the archives.
Bad. Like, you have to call my dad to check his WhatsApp. If you need my dad, like, call him or send him an iMessage. Like, you actually have to call. Like, literally, sometimes I WhatsApp him, like, can you check your WhatsApp, please? Like, that. Yeah, he's I would have told you. I would have told you iMessage him.
My dad is the opposite. My dad is a terrorist on WhatsApp on my days. Like,
my mum is a terrorist, but she will ignore her family's messages.
She just sends out, no, my dad, video. And so, like, now, that's my dad, didn't it? I ignored the messages, yeah. And, like, so now, like, he sends them to the love of my life. Like, he'll send him videos. And then he'll be like, fam, your dad's sending me videos. I said, you can't air my dad. That's very disrespectful. You have to respond. And he's like, yeah, but you air him.
I would do a general response if I was him.
No,
I'd do a monthly responance.
I do,
like,
but
these videos were so interesting.
I just put the laughing emoji. I don't even watch them. Sometimes they'll send me a video that's like 13 minutes long. I'm like, brother, I have a job, I work.
Emoji. It could be something not funny.
Yeah, but either way, at least one of them will be a funny video, and I just laugh.
No,
and even if it's not a funny video, then do you know what it is? It's literally some conspiracy theory, which is also funny. So I will laugh at it too, because this is not serious thing.
Nah, these parents, like my grandpa, yeah, his own was
insufferable.
Like spam emails. So he would open every, like, only God knows what sorts of virus his laptop had, yeah. He would open every spam email. He would watch every spam video. I remember him watching one intently. Like, I always used to say to him, you wake up in the morning, you open your laptop, somebody will think you're doing big business.
Yeah.
Like, not knowing that you're going through every single spam. There was one he was watching intently about how cocoa butter helps with diabetes. And he called my dad and he's like, Johnny, you need to watch this video. I'm telling you, they said this thing and I think it could be real. I was like, Grandpa, stop. It's not every email. There's one he'll open up like, oh, they told me that I won this. I just need to enter my details. Grandpa, don't enter your details.
Don't enter anything.
Anywhere.
Don't even click the link. You're even being risky clicking links.
I'm telling you that his laptop was probably riddled
with
viruses. They probably hacked everything they could hack and they were tired of hacking him. They probably saw him coming. They were like, oh, don't worry about this guy.
We have everything. We have it all.
We have everything we need. There's nothing we can get from him. No, he was a character.
No, that's crazy. I mean, for him, it makes sense, you know. He wasn't of this time.
Yeah,
you know?
He always used to say to us, like, guys, do you know that half of my age mates can't even turn on a laptop?
Exactly.
So he tried. And he used to send, like, WhatsApp broadcasts as well. But the WhatsApp wasn't as bad. But the spam emails were really bad.
Oh, what a lad, man.
What a lad.
Anyway, I've forgiven your dad is the point that I'm making. Do you know what? I don't take these things personally. It's not about me. I know that I'm literally. I know I'm definitely top 2.
Yeah. Wait. So back to the love of your life. After the friend who shall not be named, am I second?
Yeah, I'm sure you are. Who else would there be?
Okay.
I'm sure it's you. Yeah.
But let's see what he says. I've messaged him.
Okay, that's fine. Right, so we made a detour, but we're back now. Back again. So we meet Alonso's mum. Her name is Maria, I think. Right? Yeah.
Maria,
So we see her.
Maria.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's that?
What's that story?
What song is that?
That's
What song is
that's
that?
the thing they sampled for
Wild Thoughts.
yeah.
Right, yeah, okay, we're there. I need to update the playlist. Bloody hell. So we see his mum. Yeah, we meet his mum. And Maria, like, you can just see how hurt she is. Like, at this point, we don't know what's happened. But we can see that this woman is hurt. Like, this woman is, like, in pain. As it seems as if, like, her feelings are fresh. Like, whatever it is she's feeling, like, it's as if it happened yesterday.
Yeah.
And she shows us one of Alonso's jackets that she wears. And she's like, I just wear it because it's his. And it just makes me feel close to him. And I'm just like, oh.
I just feel like no parent should bury a kid.
Honestly.
You're meant to, like, give your parents grandkids, I mean, if you want to, but you're meant to be
They're meant to
like,
see you live your life, and then, you know, they're meant to go first. Mm-hmm. And especially in this way, it's just like, come on. It's not as if he was, like, I don't know, in the army, and you kind of knew that there was a chance it was going to happen. It's
or
not
just
as if,
sickly
like,
from birth.
he was sick for a long time or whatever. It's just the not knowing, the still to this day not knowing, that I think just adds another element of grief. Mm-hmm. So we just see this, like, montage of different people saying how nice Alonso was, how polite he was, you know, saying he was clean, he was neat, he was funny, he was nice with everyone. His favourite colour is red. Like, he used to wear this beanie and he'd wear it all the way down to his eyelids, like, covering his forehead.
Do you know
and
who he looks like?
Who?
But without the eyebrow, Albie Shaw. Do you know who Albie Shaw is?
Yeah, the name sounds very familiar, but I cannot think of the face.
You know Diddy's, like, not real son that he adopted.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. That one's dad, biological dad.
Hold on. Do you know what? I will give it to you a little bit. Mm-hmm. A little bit. Yeah, kind of. Oh my God, that picture there with the tuxedo, a little bit. Yeah.
Especially because there's a picture of Albie Shaw with a hat like that as well, I think.
Yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. Mm-hmm. I'll give it to you. Yeah, so he wears this beanie all the way down to his eyelids. I think that it's nice, this bit, because we're hearing about him as a person and not just him as a victim. And I really like that about this documentary. So we're based in Kansas.
Did you notice that everybody his mum was talking about him like he was still alive?
Yeah.
So she was using present and then everybody was using past. It was really sad.
Yeah. It's just... Because it's like, okay, let's get into the documentary. So we're in Kansas, yeah. We meet one of Alonso's brothers who says that he lived in Topeka, Kansas, which is kind of like urban, I guess more like inner city, like blacks are about. Mm-hmm. And then Alonso lived with his mum in Gardner, which is like the suburbs. So I took this to mean whites and not really any black people around. That's just what I read in between the lines, right? Mm-hmm. So it's April 3rd, 2004. Alonso is going to a party. His friend Justin comes to pick him up. And we see Justin in the documentary. We also see his friend Daniel. We see his friend Tyler. And one thing that strikes me here is, like, how old they look. Not because, like, they haven't aged well, but just because, like, they have had the chance to grow up to become this age, right? Yeah. So all the pictures that we see of Alonso are him at, like, frozen. 20. Yeah, he's like 22, 23. And he's, like, you know, young. And he's still that age. And, like, all his friends that we see, of course, were that age with him. But now they're not. Like, they're old. Like, they got the chance. Yeah, and Alonso never got the chance to be that age. Yeah. So I don't know, like, they don't look old, but you see them and you're just like, rah, you're really not a teenager, or, you know, you're not a young adult anymore. Like, you got the chance to live. So yeah, they're talking about how they sort of came to be.
Is that the only thing you noticed about them? Just to put it out there, there were 3 white men.
Oh yeah, they're all white. Oh sorry, yeah, you guys didn't see it. Yeah, they're all white. Yeah, they're all white. I mean, but this is Kansas. Alonso is like the only black person. I don't know how many miles for, but he literally, him and his family, that seems to be it. Yeah, they're white. Sorry, I don't know why I just assumed you guys would pick up on that. So they're talking about how they came to be at the party, basically saying that they didn't really make plans. It was kind of just like, oh, fuck it, there's this party, let's go. And his mum, like, this is so fresh to her. Like, Maria is like, she knows what he's wearing. He's wearing blue jeans, a t-shirt, a shirt and boots. And he's limping around this time because he's hurt his ankle the week before. And she kind of remembers all these details, you know. She says goodbye. He's like, yeah, I'll see you later. And, of course, he doesn't see her later. The thing with his ankle becomes important later on as well.
Yeah, you never forget what someone is wearing the last time you see them. That's something that struck me. when my granddad died. I was like,
Yeah.
I can remember exactly what he was wearing that day. I can remember the last thing he said to me. I can remember everything about the last time I saw him. You just don't forget.
That's crazy.
Because you replay so much in your mind about, like, what you would have done, what you would have said.
Yeah.
How much time you would have spent with them.
What could have been different, yeah.
Yeah, what could have been different if I had known. You never, ever, ever forget. Like,
that's so crazy.
It's
literally like a stamp. Like, the way that Maria's saying it, it's literally like a stamp in her mind. It's like she just took a picture of a photo album and was like, yeah, this is the last day. But that in your mind kind of thing. So sad. So this party that they go to is in a place called Lacine, which is about an hour away by car to this party. And so at this point, I'm kind of like, who the fuck is driving an hour away to another town for a party?
I would have been turned all the way down.
That was my first thought. But then I remembered, when I was at university, we went to Bradford for this event, yeah. We went to Bradford and we went by train. And Bradford is, no offense to the Bradfordians here, but there was in Bradford nothing. Literally, the event was the only thing there, yeah. And we went by train and we stayed there all night, and then we missed the last train. So we had to wait at Bradford station until the morning time for the next train before we could go back to Manchester. Literally. And when I remember that, I was like, okay, let me not judge, because clearly when you're young, you do things for motives.
You do some fucked up shit because, like, and I think you're really in a bubble at uni, because I even remember when we went to Barfest. You
went Barfest, I remember. Yeah. And you all shared a hotel room, innit?
Yes. There were like 15 of us in one, like, we weren't all even sleeping. Some of us just stood around like foxes. Like, so when you think about, and the thing is, like, when you're in uni, you exist in like this warp, this bubble, so you don't realize that, like, you're doing these fucked up things like in a normal universe, in a normal
world, like the rest of the world is going by.
Literally, you were chilling like pigeons in Bradford station, and people were like, what the fuck are these people doing here?
In dresses and heels on a Sunday morning, because it was Saturday night that we went. Sunday morning. And I remember that day because I got home at like, I don't even know what crazy time, maybe like 9 or something in the morning, and my mum called me and was, are you going to church? I was like, yes, mummy. I had just entered my bed.
Nah.
Ridiculous. You just think to yourself, like, uni is like, literally, it's a bubble. It's a bubble.
And you think you're grown and an adult.
Fam. And it's only the grace of God that you survive, if you survive, because, like, what were we doing there? What were we doing, like, in Bradford? Very ridiculous. So Daniel tells us a bit about Lacine.
There's really not much to it. It's a little tiny Kansas town. I think they got like one gas station, no real grocery store, nothing like that. There ain't nothing down there. There ain't houses everywhere. There ain't people everywhere. In the middle of the country.
There's nothing there. There's like one petrol station, not a lot of people, not a lot of houses. It's basically the countryside. And I'm just like, my first thought at this point is, what is a black man doing in these ends? Like, what? Like, this is Kansas. This is inner Kansas. This is outside.
This is Dorothy's Kansas.
It's literally, this is the country. Yeah. Like, what are you as a black man doing in these ends as the only black man? Like, that was my first thought.
Cam is from. No, he's from Missouri.
He's from Missouri. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever. Yeah. So they get to the party, and Alonso is just good vibes. He's kind of like screaming, "Who wants a beer?" Just kind of initiate contact with the people.
Again, it's still lack of self-awareness. If I went to an all-white party, and I don't mean the dress code, I would be literally like trying to be the wallflower there.
But the thing is, Alonso, I suspect, is used to being the only black guy around white people, because now he's in Gardner. He's not in Topeka. So for him, it's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm always the only black guy. Like, cool. And I'm at this party. Why would they not be good vibes? Sometimes when you're a good vibes person, you just expect that other people are good vibes. It's like when you're a sane person, you just expect everybody would act in a sane way, because that's what you would do. But they're not. So everyone at this party is about 16 to 21 years old. Alonso is 22, 23. They're not sure how many people are there, but there's a lot of people, and they're basically like country cowboy kind of people who seem to be quite tight-knit. So this is not as if like, oh, these are all my mates and I know all of these guys from somewhere. This is like, you lots are the minority, yeah? Not in terms of race. I mean, he is. But everyone there is like boys and they all know each other, and then you lots are like the outsiders. There's maybe 6 or 7 people from Gardner, which is where they're from. Everyone else is from Lacine. So ordinarily, you know, maybe that would have been fine. Like, I'm not saying don't go party out your ends and that, but like, if everyone's good vibes, you can make new friends, see new people. All of a sudden you've got besties in Lacine. But that is not the case here. We're going to get into the fuck shit from now. So basically, Daniel is telling us how he's chilling with Alonso, and then he goes to kind of talk to someone, and he starts to hear a bit of commotion from where he left, and he turns around, and he sees that Alonso's in some beef with some guy who's kind of like, oh, don't touch my woman, la 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 la, and like Daniel's basically trying to break it up, kind of keep them apart, right? So that happens. They kind of gloss over that, and we're like, all right, cool. So what was how did that end?
The crux of that beef,
yeah. So like they're breaking it up, fine. So then Justin tells us
there were some people at the party who had, problems with people's skin color.
And it's like, Justin, just spit it out. Them's peoples were some racist peoples in the country. Like, and he's trying to be like...
He's like, oh, we didn't see colour. I fucking hate that shit.
Literally, we're going to get into that bit because I really do go into that bit. But yeah, it's like he's trying to say they're racist, but it's like he doesn't want to say the word racist. It's as if that word can't leave his mouth. So he's saying there's some people there who had problem with people's skin colour. Okay, so they were racist. Is that so difficult to say? Mm-hmm. Will you choke if you say racist? So then Tyler chimes in and he's like...
Our group didn't really think about race, so it never really got brought up. But Alonzo probably was the only black man that was there.
And I'm like, why would you have to think about race when there's never been anything that's had a negative impact on your life? I just feel like this in particular, highlights the whole point of allyship. Like, if I'm privileged in some way and I'm close to someone, whether I'm friends with that person, in a relationship with that person, whether I work with that person, whatever capacity it is, I need to be aware of the situations that person might be in and might be uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was just saying, like, if they had two brain cells to rub together and they understood being an ally, they would have removed him from the whole fucking situation, not just the fight, but the party. They would have walked in, because I could have walked into that party and been like, yeah, this is not the place I need to be at.
Wrap it up, then.
Literally, depths of South. Like, literally, he already left South, the urban part of the South.
Exactly, to go to the least urban.
To the
He's
suburb,
going
which is
deeper into
now
the...
he then went to where the KKK are like, nah.
Hoods everywhere. Literally. I was like, you have to look at these things from this marginalised person's point of view. If I have a friend who is who's gay, and I know that there's a certain area or this certain club where they don't treat gay people very well, am I going to be like, yeah, let's go to this area? No, I'm not. I'm going to be like, listen, bro, let's not go here because it might not end well. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like... And I'm not saying that it's their fault, but I'm saying that they have some stake in this because, like, you should be aware of these things. And, like, obviously you can't stop... Like, if Alonso wants to go to the party and have a good time, like, he's grown, you can't stop him. But, like, have his back. Do you know what I mean? Like, be hyper aware of where he is, who he's with. Like, I don't know, like, when people say they don't see colour, it really pisses me off because you're supposed to see colour.
Yeah,
it's very necessary to see colour.
Everything,
It affects everything. Like, if you say you don't see colour, you say you don't see me. You don't see my struggles. You don't see my lack of privilege. Like, and what use is that? What use is that in anything? It's so annoying. You think you're saying something big and bold and new, like, oh, I don't see colour. Well, you fucking should.
You should, and
patients say this to me all the time, like, I don't see colour. I'm just like, do you know what? Just get out of my room because I don't have the time to educate you on this right now.
Yeah.
And Alonso's the only black guy there in the whole party. Like,
he has a target on his back.
None of this needed to happen.
No Kevin Hart.
Bruh. God. So we hear that Daniel and Tyler leave the party. They don't really specify where they went. I think one was going to go to another party and one was just leaving. And I'm like, you guys came together. I don't understand. Like, you came together and now you're just like, yeah, I'm pissing off. See you later kind of thing. They think that Justin is going to give Alonso a ride home. Because to be fair, Justin did come. Justin is the one who came with Alonso. Like, they were in Alonso was in Justin's car.
Mm-hmm.
So Justin goes to get cigarettes and he gets lost because imagine this is in the middle of the sticks and it's dark and I'm sure there's no street lights and things. He gets lost, he gets stuck, and he tells his friend Adam, like, oh, do you know what, I'm stuck, but can you make sure that Alonso gets home? And I'm like, okay, cool, that's the least that you can do. But then, everyone goes home, fine. It's the next day. Someone calls to see if Alonso made it home, and his mum's like, yeah, like, he should be home by now. Kind of like, he better be home by now, and then goes to his room. Bed's just as made as it was when he left. I really rate that he made his bed in his room as size and everything. I really respect that.
I was thinking about it whilst watching it, that if I had gone missing, what they would have said is bed was unmade as it had been for the past 3 days.
They would have been like, she must have slept in here. Like, this bed is a mess.
Yeah. No, she actually didn't. This is how her room always is.
It always is, yeah. So this even indicates that she is not here. But yeah, so his mum realises, he's not home. And his mum is calling everyone, like, listen, where is my son? Like, you man must have seen him. No one's seen him.
Yeah.
The guy, Adam, who was supposed to give him a ride, thought he'd already left, so didn't give him a ride. Yeah. So now we meet another black man who's not related to Alonzo, Rodney English. He is Alonzo's childhood friend.
I really like him.
He says everything that I'm thinking all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I just think, Rodney, like, I wish that you were there that night because none of this would have gone down.
And also,
like,
can I just say, this is why seeing colour is important, because all of you left the party and you left your black friend there, went in an environment where you all, without saying the word racist, could agree that he was amongst people who didn't like the colour of his skin. So even if you were going to go and get a pack of cigarettes, you should have said to him, oh, come with me. Like, even if I didn't
understand that.
Even if I went to an event amongst black people where I knew I was safe, if I was leaving and my friend was there by themselves, I would be like, come with me.
And this is not
then
our
we
batch.
can come back. Literally.
Exactly. That's I literally have that note. Like, with the cigarettes, like, why would you guys not just be, let's go together?
Yeah.
I was like, even toilet. Me and friends went out the other day, yeah, and I needed to go toilet. Where did we go? To the toilet together.
And bear in mind, the toilet was literally the next room. Like, it wasn't even like
it wasn't even far.
Like, it was the next room.
Literally,
why the fuck?
It's like, I just don't get why you wouldn't just. This is what I'm saying, like, to Rodney, yeah, and we'll hear more from Rodney later on, but to Rodney, none of this makes sense, because it's like, bro, like, why would you leave him? Because it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I'm not going out with my girls and not going home with them. We came together. Why would we not leave together?
Why would one person be going by themselves?
It doesn't make sense. Even if the other person wanted to leave, it's like, okay, cool, then maybe it's time to leave then. Maybe we all need to leave. Because why would you be going by yourself? Like,
and I understand that the world is different for men in the sense that, like, generally they feel safer than women. But either way, you all had the wherewithal to pick up on the fact that he was in an environment where people were racist, even if you didn't say it. So you then don't leave that friend in the mouth of the lion. Like, you bring him out.
Exactly.
If he was a white man in this environment, you'd be like, cool, fine. But not only were these people racist, he'd already gotten into an altercation.
Right, that's my bit. There was already beef. You, Daniel, already had to break them up. So would you now then just leave thinking, oh yeah, it's all okay? No, of course it's not okay. Of course it's not okay.
Raggedy bitches.
Raggedy, man. So Alonzo's mum calls Rodney and kind of explains the situation, and Rodney's like, something ain't right. Like, how'd you go out with your friends and you're the only one that doesn't come home? Because exactly, right? And this just reminds me of, like, that case, you know, Tamla Horsford, the black woman, she had to sleep over with all the white friends and she died, and they said there was no criminal activity. And more recently, I saw the case on TikTok. I think I sent it to you on Twitter. Talia Lowe.
Oh, the one that drowned.
She went out with a group of friends. Yeah, she drowned. And it's like, fam, this doesn't make any sense. Like, this is very strange behaviour. So Rodney teams up with Alonzo's friends to go and look for him. Bearing in mind, like, Rodney don't know these niggas. Like, Rodney is like his friend from, like, back home, and these are his friends from the new place. So he doesn't know any of these guys.
His friend from the urban time.
Yeah, exactly. The niggas. So it's like, you know, with that meme when it's like when you invite your group of friends to your birthday and they're all like different.
Yeah,
they are different people. So they kind of want to make sure that, you know, Alonzo didn't get drunk and maybe pass out somewhere. And Rodney finds his hat. Remember this hat that he used to wear all the way down to his eyelid, yeah? Finds his hat and finds one of his boots. And they're just out there, just like... Rodney thinks that someone was driving down and just threw them out the window because there was no rhyme or reason. Like, one was on one side, one was somewhere else, that kind of thing. And so then they get told to leave. They get told to, like, leave. Like, oh, you need to get away from here. And now, like, present day, during the documentary, Rodney is in the place basically showing us where exactly he found the things. And he doesn't feel safe. Like, he's like, nah, like, let's leave. Like, I don't feel safe. And you can
that
just
means
tell
even the way they told him to get out must have put the
back
fear of
then.
God in him.
Exactly. You don't belong here, that kind of vibe. It's just so, like, imagine your friend's gone missing, you found his hat, you found his boot. So wherever he is, even if he is okay, he's shoeless. He's just walking around barefoot or with his socks on or whatever.
Bareback.
So now
bareback in the floor.
Just bareback in the floor anyhow. Strange. So now the friends are reiterating that this is a racist town.
The town we were in was definitely an all-white dominant town, Lacine was.
Definitely, you know, there's some racism involved down there. It gets worse when you get down and, you know, go a little more further south.
Obviously, that crap comes with the area.
And I'm just like...
The area you led your friend to.
Okay, Justin.
You lots even called him to come to this party. It wasn't like he heard about the party.
Obviously.
You called him to come to this party. Now you're saying, obviously, it was racist. So, obviously, I led my friend to the mouth of the lion.
Right. Obviously, I knew that
Congrats.
something could have gone down and didn't care. Okay. So our buddy Rodney is asking the right questions.
I kind of talked to Justin and asked him some questions like how you take someone to a party and you don't come home with him, especially as far as we were out in the middle of nowhere. To leave him there an hour away from home, I didn't understand that.
And I don't know, I just feel like this is something ingrained in us. I don't know if it's the being black. I don't know what it is, but it's like we're just ingrained. Like I said, going to toilet together, making sure you're okay. Like, it's the whole community thing. Like, you're accountable for the people that you're with. It's not just me, myself, and I. Like, I'm accountable. Like, even like, if I drop Florence home, she'll be like, let me know when you get home. Like, I literally would say to her, bro, like, even on Saturday, I was like, fam, picked up my phone to message her, is this girl still not home? And she had messaged me saying that she got home. It's that kind of thing. Like, I don't know. It's just so weird. Like, and again, I'm not saying that it's Justin's fault. Like, I'm not saying that they like set him up or whatever, but it's just weird that like you could have just gone to get the cigarettes together. Like, he wanted cigarettes as well, so it was like, fam, okay, cool, let's just go together.
And this changed, like, when you think back to moments like this, you realise it changed the whole trajectory of like one's life, because if they had gone to get the cigarettes together, Lorenzo probably still would have been alive, and we wouldn't even have this episode.
Exactly. And
Just
it would have
split,
been better.
and this is the thing, a split, and it just shows you so much in life. It's like the butterfly effect is so real. Like, a split second, a decision you make in 1 second that you think is fleeting, it means nothing. It has no effect.
No consequence.
No consequence, no nothing. Can literally change everything for you.
Everything. And the thing is that is the decision that was always going to be made. Like, there is no alternate, well, we don't know, but there's no alternate universe where you could watch how it would have played out should another decision have been made. It's so sad, man. But yeah, Justin was just like, you know, when he left, it was good vibes. There was no animosity. Alonso's having a great vibe. And I was like, fam, we just heard that there was beef. I'm sorry, like, did you leave before or after the beef? Because I don't know, maybe he thought it was all calmed down, but I don't know, like, even like when we're out, in a club, whenever there's beef, like, remember that time we were in Coventry and there was like beef, we went to the club, were you there? There was beef, and basically everyone like had to like run outside. It was just mad. There was like,
did one of our mates go and
No, I don't think it was that one. No, I don't think it was that time. Because I don't think it was that time. It was like because I remember we were like in the corner, like, and then you could just, you know, when you can tell something's about to pop off, or like there was just like that sort of vibe, and it was a bit like, oh, you know, something would happen, it would calm down, something would happen, it would calm down, and then like the guy came with like the bottle, and everyone basically had to like run outside, and it was shortly after there was that stampede at one other club where one girl died. Do you remember?
I remember the stampede. Yeah,
it was shortly after that. So it was just mad. It was just mad. Like,
it's possible I was at Coventry. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I think you were there actually. I think you were. But yeah, so anyway, it's just them kind of situations where it's like, fam, just be aware. Just because the beef calmed down doesn't mean that the danger is over. Like, do you know what I mean? You just have to be aware of your surroundings and the fact that you are with the only black man in a racist situation. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, bro, like, use your head. So yeah, Maria goes to the police station and she's like, listen, my son is missing. And they're like, no, you have to wait 48 hours. And she's like, no, I know my child. He is missing. Something must be done. We meet one of Alonso's oldest brothers. His name is Billy. And he tells us how him and his wife, who is called Cindy, drive to that house where the house party was the next day, and it's empty. He's like, it's kind of like an abandoned house. Like, no one's really there. And he's like, it's a bit weird because they just threw a party there. Like, how is nobody there? And they show us a little like aerial view of the house. There's like a house, there's fields near it, a creek, and that's it. Like, literally, there's no other houses nearby. Nothing, And so they drive around the town and like they can see people looking at them. Like, you know, when people are looking at you like that, like you just know there's look like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here, that kind of vibe. And they managed to get a meeting with the sheriff, Paul Filler. And they're basically being like, you know, this is a big deal that he didn't come home. This is not just like, you know, he's irresponsible and he does this. And the sheriff is like, yeah, you know, he'll probably be home anytime. Like, you know, he's probably trying to get back to his donuts and coffee or whatever. And he's like, I was just doing what kids do, walking around. And Cindy's like, bro, how many people do you know walking around without shoes on? It's just rained. We found his shoes. We found his hat, who's just gone for a walk.
And he has a sprained ankle.
And he has a sprained ankle, exactly. So it doesn't even make sense that he'd be walking around all willy-nilly, like.
Yeah.
So Paul, the sheriff, agrees to discuss the case off camera. So we don't see him, we just get his voice. And they do this really nice thing with like the B-roll, and you can just see like, it's like they're driving along, you can just see like the town and you can hear his voice over the top. It's really great. As opposed to when they do like them little voice spike things with just it was really well done. I enjoyed it. But yeah, so he basically is just saying,
I originally received information on it. I needed to go to this address in Lacine
because there's been a report of a missing person. And I went there. Alonzo wasn't in the house. We walked the creek bed that night. There was no indication that he was outside anywhere. I just reported back negative contact with Alonzo or anybody around there.
So basically, a recap of what's happening right now is the 3rd of April is the party. The 4th of April, he doesn't come home. His brother and his wife go speak with the sheriff. And then the case gets turned to the Kansas Bureau of Investigation on April the 7th. They do a thorough search. They find nothing. The FBI joins the investigation on April the 10th. They find nothing. April the 12th, the rescue team searches the creek. They find nothing and they offer to come back, but they're never invited back. So that's that. People do think that Alonzo has been the victim of a hate crime. And there's like witnesses at the party saying that they called him racial slurs. And I'm like, okay, is that before or after the fight? Is that before or after they left? Because how can you be somewhere
the timeline doesn't add up.
Yeah, because how can you be somewhere where they're saying nigger, ER, hard ER, and you just think, oh, do you know what? It'll be fine there. Let's leave him. It doesn't make sense.
The vibes are good.
Yeah, the vibes are good. Alonzo's having a great time being racially abused.
They call him a nigger.
Let's ER.
Like, oh, this is great. It's fine.
This is great. He's all right. It's in the songs all the time. He's all right. He loves it.
Absolutely fine.
God. So they did hundreds of interviews. They did some polygraph tests. I wish that they went into more detail here. They don't ever go into who they interviewed, what they said, who these players are, like nothing. They just say they did interviews and polygraph tests.
Yeah.
So now it's been like 11 days and the police are trying to say maybe he walked home. And it's like, okay, again, injured ankle, no shoes. Is he still walking home? What's happened?
How many, is it 40 days and 40 nights?
40 days and 40 nights. I said...
Sir,
honestly. So the sheriff won't let the family search because the family are like, bro, like, okay, you man can't look. Let us look. They call daily for 3 weeks, which to me is amazing. I'm just like, yes, you better bother them until they can be bothered no more. And they're kind of like, yo, can you stop calling us kind of thing? But eventually,
so
they give
we
the
will
family...
call you when we have news.
we will call you, but no, we will call you first until you have news. So the family finally get the okay to go and do a search when Alonzo has been missing for 27 days. And they find him within 30 minutes of the search.
Yeah, that's wild to me. First of all, it's wild to me to even be able to like, do you know what? It's really weird, but if something happens to my loved one, I want to say, yeah, I couldn't live for that amount of time not knowing what was going on. Like
how do you just continue?
Alive, but I won't sleep. I won't eat. That's
what I'm saying. And so what, do you go to work? Do you shower? Like, what do you do?
Nothing.
It's so crazy to me.
And that's why you understand that people have peace within knowing that their loved one has died. Because at least you know, like, okay, this is what it is. I think it's better for your loved one to pass or for you to know they've passed than all these stories of like...
missing.
Yeah, like I was listening to the latest Crime Junkie episode and they were going over 3 different... like stories where like men had just disappeared from their cars until today, like their families don't even know what happened to them without a trace.
That's crazy. Did you see that thing? I saw that tweet and it basically was like a really good hiking hack, or not hack is not the word, but basically say for example you've gone hiking, or I guess this with anything, you've gone somewhere and then your battery is about to die. They were like, just change your voicemail, your outgoing voicemail message to say, you know, what time it is, where you are, what your battery's on, what you're planning to do. So, oh, my battery's on 20%, it's going to die soon, it's 6:49, I'm heading towards the town, or I'm sitting in my car's parked here, so that when your phone does inevitably die, whenever someone calls you, they have the instructions on basically where you are, and they're able to find you. Yeah, I actually saw it and I was like, wow, that's really amazing, because you can change your phone thingy, even if your battery's dead, and then like, even if you think like it's a night out and like, you know, something weird might happen, like, hey guys, I'm basically walking home, like I should be home at this time. When I charge my phone, I'll give you a call. If I've not called you by this time, then whatever. Then whoever calls you knows.
Yeah. So
I thought that was a really good idea. But yeah, I think that the grief is just probably so much more when you don't actually know what has happened to the person. It just adds another layer of grief that just you do not need. But yeah, they find Alonzo within 30 minutes. That, like, his body's lying by the creek. They get the KBI and the FBI back. So now we hear from the medical examiner, who I think was quite useless. He's being very politically correct. Not politically correct, that's not the word. Diplomatic is the word. So he's saying there's no evidence of a penetrating injury, so he wasn't stabbed. No gunshot wounds, so he wasn't shot. No, bone fractures. So basically trying to say that there was no like, I don't know, he says like contusions. Basically trying to say like he probably wasn't really beaten up. He says he could have drowned, but there's no specific anatomic signs to make a determination of drowning.
He said,
Let's go back. He says he could have drowned, but there are no specific anatomic signs to make a determination of drowning. He could have been strangled, but his neck tissue has decomposed, so we can't know for sure. I'm like, so what do you know?
And also, if someone is strangled, you can tell from the bone, it's not the neck tissue.
But I guess that might help in terms of
I guess,
the whole
like imprint and all that, yeah. Mm-hmm. It was just like,
So
in
then-
conclusion.
In conclusion.
Mr. Brooks died. I do not know the circumstances of his death. I do not know the cause of his death. Whether there was an accident or whether there was a purposeful involvement in his death.
And Billy is like, nope, no. Like, Billy is like, this, how can it have been an accident? Like, his shoes and hat were found somewhere else. Like,
Yeah.
if it was an accident, if he fell, if he froze or something like that, would his hat not be on him? Would his shoe not be on him? Like, literally. And like, Daniel, who was trying to break up the fight, that friend basically was like, nah, there must have been foul play. Like, this is so fucking weird. Like, how can you say, oh, we don't know? So now the internet goes a bit crazy with the theories. There's a theory of he went swimming and he drowned. There's one saying he was tortured in a barn. There's one saying there was accidental death and a cover-up. There's one saying he was killed, his body was moved many times. This one makes sense to me because why didn't they find him when they found him?
Yeah, I agree with
and
that.
then someone also thinks the friends set him up. I don't think they set him up intentionally, but I think they set him up because they don't see colour, basically.
Yeah.
So one theory that I do believe is that someone mentions later on is that there was a white girl who flirted with Alonzo, or Alonzo flirted with him, and then the guys there didn't really like it, and so they thought, they were going to do something about it.
Yeah.
Tyler is also one of the witnesses that's like, he saw the N-word was being thrown around. He saw the N-word was being thrown around, and like Alonzo, he wouldn't have had it. Like, if that was going on, he would have like said something. So they think he might have been jumped. And so my question to Tyler is, you are sure that the N-word was being thrown around? Was that before or after you left your friend?
Fam. But this is the thing though, because you don't see colour. So when these things happen, you might flag that, oh, this isn't a good thing, but you don't know the grave danger. Like, it's just
you
like
don't
men
link
who,
it to the fact that it's basically the beginnings of a hate crime.
Literally, it's just like men who like walk behind women at night, kind of thing, and then they come onto it and they tweet like, oh, I don't know why she was afraid, like, I'm just walking, going my own way, like, it's the same thing.
No one's trying to hurt you, bitch. Like,
you might be another man just trying to walk, go your own way, but for every one of you, they're like two men who wouldn't just be trying to walk and go their own way. So for me, I feel like they all could now, looking back, be like, oh shit, like shit was about to go down.
They
but
see the
at
signs.
that point, they just were like, oh, okay, it's just a sprinkle of racism. We'll be all right. Like,
and Alonzo's not even black. I don't even see him as black, so how could it be racist?
Yeah,
He just doesn't like him because
he chills with so many white people. He must be white. Like,
I feel like when you don't see him as a black man, you then don't see the struggles that he faces as a black man, or the prejudice or discrimination or whatever. And it's like, okay, so then like you're doing 2 + 2, you're getting apple because you cannot see that this is a black man.
Exactly.
So 2 + 2 is racism. And you're not getting the answer. It's so ridiculous to me. I'm just like,
but I agree with your theory. That's what happened.
With white women, how many times in history have we heard that a white woman liked a black man, then the black man was killed because of it? Like, come on, man.
Candyman.
Like, and he was fine. So, she did like him. Yeah, okay. Like,
yeah, I think that's what happened.
Yeah, I think so. So, I think, he was jumped. So, we're back with the people who searched the creek initially. And they're like, listen, this body was not there when we searched it. Yeah, it wasn't there. The stupid medical examiner is like, well, maybe he was in the water because it had rained, so the levels were higher. So they were like, maybe he was in the water, the levels of water were higher, he was dropped in the brush. And everyone was like, no, his body wasn't bloated. The stuff that they found in his pockets wasn't wet. So how? And they were like, he still looked black. Like, he still had his colour on him. It just looked like he was sleeping. It didn't look like he'd been decomposing in thingamabob all this time. Do you know what I mean? As the people were kind of like, do you know what? They'd heard around town that he was being kept in a freezer. And then once the police search was done, they were going to put the body back. And the stupid Emmy is like, there's no way to tell if a body's been frozen before. Unless, like, you get it right when it's thawing, then there might be microscopic changes. But, you can't really tell. And I'm just like, so why are you here?
So what can you tell? All
What can you
tell
tell?
us that they found a body. That's all you can tell us.
And they found the body, so we know the body was found. Literally, the Emmy, he gives us nothing. Literally nothing.
But the rumours are true. And the thing with this case is, if you really want to get to the bottom of the case, it's those whispers that people are like...
Yeah, that are going around
This is
the town.
a really small town, so everybody in that town knows who did it. Probably even
And
the
everybody
police
was in that
chief.
party, fam.
Literally, everybody that could possibly have existed was in that party in that town. And I think even the fucking police chief probably knows who does it, because even his brother was like, the way the body was found in 30 minutes, it leads them to believe that they obviously went to the police chief and were like, yeah, we're going to do our search. So the police chief probably said it to someone, and it's such a small town that it probably like went to whoever it was that had the body, and they went and dumped it.
But then my thing
So
is that
for me,
why
I
did they
think
then dump the body? Like, why didn't they just like let it never be found? Do you get what I mean? Like, if you were gonna hide it,
Yeah, but then think about like hiding a
just
body
having a
in
body.
the freezer.
Yeah.
Especially if you're hiding it in like someone's house. It's not really the most conducive
Yeah,
place.
you need to
And
get rid of the body, basically.
yeah, and I guess maybe they just wanted it to be found. Like,
I believe that they, because it's like, if it was 27 days, guys. It was basically a month. Like, if you're out in nature for a month,
there'd be nothing left in the south. There'd be nothing.
what
left.
about the north? Would there be anything left in the north?
Well, the north remembers.
The way you said, stop
you
it.
didn't get that joke.
I do get it. I don't know why, man. Twitter. But what was I gonna say? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I do think that they just dumped him there.
Yeah. So, like, the people in that town know what happens, and they're not going to talk
definitely.
because it was a black man, and they're protecting.
And also, yeah,
whoever
exactly.
it is.
Yeah.
Like, first of all,
And
it's
I
always
think-
the police chief's son. So let's check that guy out first. Okay.
I also think it's one of these things that it was like multiple people were involved. Like, I don't think one person hit. I feel like it was a group thing, and it's like everyone's protecting everyone.
And I even
And
believe
fuck that
the
nigga, who
police
cares
know
anyway?
Yeah, and I believe the police know who it is, and they like help
Yeah,
cover
they're
up.
all protecting everyone. Yeah, they're all protecting.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's Lacine. Like, who's even fucking heard of a Lacine? Like, nobody, who cares? Do you know what I mean? No one cares there. It's only Alonzo's family and us that give a fuck.
Yeah.
We get on-screen text that says, in March 2019, the Kansas Bureau of Investigation released a statement regarding the Alonzo Brooks case. And they basically say there's no evidence to suggest that he was the victim of a crime. And so they closed the investigation. So this is what they wanted to do, basically. Find the body, say everything's fine, close the investigation, everyone goes and lives their life. And that's the end. That's the documentary. That's how it ends.
So I did some research, and just a one-liner. After this aired, the death was then ruled a homicide. They've exhumed the body, and based off of whatever evidence they found, they haven't told us. It's then been ruled a homicide, and they've reopened the case.
Oh, praise the Lord.
Yeah,
They need to find out who did that shit, man.
they know who did that shit. I mean, I should have phrased that better. We need to find out who did that shit. I think it's one of those things that in a year they're going to come out and be like, "Oh, these people have been arrested." They'll find
I
it
hope
now
so.
that all the heat is
It's a
on
bigger
there.
case. And that's the whole point of this unsolved mystery. It's like applying
Yeah.
pressure. Because someone has been living their life for like 20 years or whatever, nearly 20 years, living their life, having kids, like working, interacting with members of the public, knowing damn well they've killed a black man. Yeah. And it's like, it just takes something like this to apply pressure so that people who know are kind of like, oh shit, like,
Yeah.
you know. Maybe someone's found Jesus in that time and they're like, yeah, let me repent of my sins. Who knows?
Amen.
But yeah, now it's time for
The real crime, I think, was the beard.
our new segment where we focus on something during the documentary that may not be criminal, but we definitely consider to be a crime. Have you got one for this episode?
Yeah.
Go on, sis.
Jason's cheekbones. I mean, it wasn't really a crime, but it was just like
Justin.
Justin. It was just like, why does God give some of the best features to men? Like his cheekbones, I feel like they were
He was
touching
chiseled,
heaven.
didn't it? Yeah.
Chiseled.
Chiseled to
He
the
looked like
gods.
handsome Squidward. Why did I say that? He looked like handsome Squidward. Have you seen that picture of
I can see
Squidward after? Yeah. They
Yeah.
were chiseled. Yeah, they could.
Yeah, they
cut.
were. Yeah, he really was. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when he cried, he looked. Yeah.
When he cried, yeah. Do you know what? I don't feel bad for them, but I know that they feel bad in it.
Yeah.
And like it's like what you said about the butterfly effect. Like they must be kicking themselves every day. So this is not the same. But I remember when I first did my driving test, and I failed. And it was something so dumb that I failed for. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my God, if I just didn't do this one thing, like I would have passed. Like, if I just didn't do this one thing, like I wish I could just go back and not do that. I don't remember what it was. Just do that one thing. And obviously that is by no means the same as this, but it's like that regret of like, if I just told him to come with me to get the ticket, like if we just didn't go to that party, like so many things. So, and
Yeah, it
that's
would have
just,
been different, yeah.
yeah, it's like you don't even have the closure where it's like, okay, whoever did this, like the regret will still be there, but just knowing that whoever did this will pay, like I understand it must really be terrible. And Justin was proper crying, like,
Yeah.
I know that he feels bad, and I'm not saying it's their fault at all, but I'm saying to everyone else out there, in order for these things to possibly not happen again, you have to see colour. You must.
Yeah.
You must see colour.
Open
you
your
must see
eyes.
colour. Shine
It's
your
gonna
eye.
be like Bird Box, so the guy is holding her eye.
Literally,
open.
literally, you must see. You must see colour. Honestly, you must see colour, and you must like not discriminate against it, but you must. It's like when people say like we don't need equality, we need equity, yeah. So it's like things just need to work the best for the people depending on what it is they need.
Yeah.
So yeah, but my crime today is the way that they spell Lacine, because it's spelled L-A and then C-Y-G-N-E. And I don't know how you get Lacine from that. I literally had to type it out as lay and scene so I can remember how to say it. That is a literally...
Probably didn't even know the
country
G
bumpkins.
sound.
Yeah, that is
Bumpkins.
just ridiculous to me. I was like, this is a fucking joke. But yeah, just the cheekbones were litty though.
They were. So it wasn't really. It was a crime that they were on him and not.
Yeah,
me.
that's the crime. Yeah, that is crime enough. Yeah.
Well.
What are we doing next, darling? Look at you. Her eyes are open
picked.
wide. She doesn't even know. You need to pick one. There's 2 seasons, so you can pick.
It'll be a surprise.
Yay! It'll be a surprise, and then we'll make a trailer. And we
Final
will.
surprise.
Can I just say that the theme tune, of this thing fucking freaks me out. Like, you
It's
know, at the end
creepy.
of it's so creepy. At the end of the
It
episode,
reminds me of what's that show we used to watch as kids? Not Goosebumps. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh, I don't think I ever watched that.
Oh, I recently started. There was one really scary episode, guys. If you watched it, let me know. But there's this really scary episode where
What is it? Are you afraid? Is it a cartoon?
No, it's like. Did you used to watch Goosebumps?
No.
Oh god. So it's like similar vibes where it's a campfire. These kids are by the campfire and they have to tell scary campfire stories.
Oh, right.
And so when they're telling it, it's like not a reconstruction, but the episode is the campfire story. And it was very, very fucking scary. Like,
Is it
was
for children?
Yes. And Goosebumps. But Goosebumps was I used to read all the books, but both of them are fucking scary. There's one episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark where it was like a killer nurse who used to like kill her patients. Then there was another one where the girl and her boyfriend were like coming back from prom and they like crash through this like cemetery and then like their ghost haunt. Like, it's fucking scary.
Nah, for children.
Fam, I recently even went back because it's on Prime. I went to watch it and I was like, this shit is even still scary today. So why was I watching this as a kid?
As a child, but I guess as a kid, like, just I don't know. I don't know, man. When you add the fear on top of the bills you have to pay, it's too much.
It's too much.
The music, it freaks me out. Like when the episode ends, I have to just end it quick. I can't let it go. No, it's so scary. But when I watch it though, I watch it on 1x5 speed, so it's not as scary when it's quicker.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
But still, it's still creepy.
Yeah. So, guys, we'll surprise you. It'll be like when you go trick-or-treating and then you have this one random chocolate at the bottom of the bag and you don't know if it's going to taste good or if it's going to be bad, and then it turns out to be really good.
But you're going to eat it anyway. Yeah. So, speaking of eating, I thought you were going to do your ass thing again. Okay. What was I going to say? So, this will be that
I've
next
told
week.
them once. If they don't want to get their ass ate, that's on them. Okay?
That's on them.
I, for one, will not be wearing my pajama bottoms. And my ass will be
out. Hanging.
Literally. Flapping in the wind. So,
No,
Boogeyman,
stop it.
come get it.
Come get it. You ain't gotta hide. So, this will be the last episode of our spooky season. Yeah. That's what I wanted to say, really. In the meantime, between time, where can they find us?
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok, you don't stop. 2 girls, 1 doc. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter forums with 2 underscores and my other podcast, Character Replay.
Ew. All right, boys and girls, we will see you next week.
Yeah, trailer pending. Surprise trailer pending.
Trailer pending. Bye.
Bye.
As a mother of a missing child, some days you just don't want to go on, you know? It get me real hard on me at times, and I get in a place of heaviness. Go through the motions, but it's not a feeling. You know, the longing, the wondering, the want to know. You want answers, something, no, but you don't have it. I won't wish this on nobody, ever.